Okay, Chairperson Stahl, you can go ahead and start the meeting.
All right, so I guess let's go ahead and call this meeting to order.
Okay. Would you like me to take roll to establish a quorum?
Yes, please.
Okay. Member Stahl?
Present?
Member Hayden?
Present.
Member Mitchell? Member Lembach?
Present.
Member Thomas?
Here.
And you have a quorum.
Great.
I have a statement to read really quick.
Go
This
ahead.
meeting is live streamed and temporarily closed to in-person public participation. The clerk's office is in the process of hosting hybrid public meetings that will provide board members and members of the public with the option to participate in the meeting either in person or remotely. Thank you for your patience and support. To make a verbal comment at today's meeting, please dial 916-875-2501 to provide your contact information. When the chair opens public comment for specific agenda item or off-agenda matter, callers will be contacted by phone and transferred into the meeting to make their public comment. Written comments are always accepted. Send your email comment to boardclerk@saccounty.net. Your comment will be routed to the board and filed in the record. And that concludes my announcement.
Great. All right. Well, next on the I guess we're doing the Pledge of Allegiance.
Yes.
So let's go ahead and do that. I'll pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Awesome. All right. So we'll start off with introductions. I'll go ahead and start. My name is Chris, and I represent the Gold River area. And we'll go next to Kurt.
I'm Kurt Haven, Gold River also.
Maurice.
I'm Maurice Thomas, Mather.
And Member Leinbach.
Harry Lineback, Rosemont.
Who am I forgetting? Who else is left?
That's it. I think everybody, Haven, Stahl, Leinbach, and Thomas.
Yep. Okay. All right. And do we have any announcements? I don't think we have any announcements. So we can go ahead and move forward with tonight's agenda. All right. So I guess we'll start off to the first item on our agenda today is the information relating to Senate Bill 9, SB 9. Do we have someone here to present today?
Yes, good evening, CPAC members. This is Chris Pohuli, Principal Planner with the Planning and Environmental Review Division. I'll be providing the staff presentation for this informational item. I see that the clerk's office is bringing up the PowerPoint right now. But this item provides an overview of the county's approach for implementing a new state law, Senate Bill 9, which has also been referenced to as the duplex bill in the media. So next slide, please. In September, Governor Newsom signed SB 9, which has three main components. First is that it allows by right development of two homes or primary dwellings on a single lot within single-family residential zones. Second, that property owners can split one lot into two lots. And third, that tentative maps can be approved for 4 years rather than 3. I should note that a property owner can do both splitting a lot and placing two homes on those created lots. So whereas currently you may have the ability to place one home on one lot, you would have an ability to put 4 homes on that one lot if you were to do a split and then put 2 homes on each lot. All of these provisions are exempt from CEQA, have certain requirements that must be met, and became effective on January 1, 2022. On December 21st, 2021, the Board of Supervisors held a hearing and introduced county code amendments and updates to the zoning code's user guide to begin implementing this new law. During the hearing, staff committed to attending all of the CPAC meetings and Planning Commission to discuss the new state laws and how they would be implemented. And the Cordova CPAC meeting is, I believe, the 7th meeting now of CPACs that we've been out to present to. And so we're about halfway done with making it through all of the CPACs to provide this information. Next slide, please. So in order for property owners to take advantage of this new law, there is a two-part locational and zoning test that must be met. The first part of the test is that properties must be located in a single-family residential zoning district. And county staff has concluded that this provision only applies to the RD1 through RD10 zoning districts, as well as potentially properties located in specific plans, special planning areas, and neighborhood preservation areas that have a single-family residential underlying zone. In addition to the property being zoned RD1 through 10, the property must also be located in an urbanized area or urban cluster as identified by the U.S. Census Bureau. The map on this graphic highlights those eligible areas. I should note that the map is based on 2010 census data, and we are expecting a revised map later in 2022. However, for now, we would be using this map to determine areas that are eligible for SB 9. So what does this mean for the Cordova community? As you can see on this map, I know it is a little bit hard to see, but there are areas outside of the urbanized area on this map. However, as I mentioned, that could change later this year. But in order for a property owner to take advantage of the law in the Cordova community, it would have to be in the crosshatched area in green, and the property would also have to be zoned RD1 through RD10. Next slide, please. In addition to those locational and zoning requirements, there are some other key provisions of the law that I want to mention. Talked about earlier that the law does exempt projects from CEQA. The request for two homes or lot splits are to be handled administratively. The request can be denied. However, in order for a request to be denied, the building official would have to make a finding that public health and safety would be compromised. And that's going to be a very high bar to reach in order to deny a applicant or a request. It would likely be that the property is on well or septic, and the increased number of units would cause some sort of public health and safety concern. There are very limited conditions that can be applied to these projects. It's pretty much going to be limited to easements with no off-site improvements or dedications. And also parking is, we are able to require parking. However, if the site is located close to high quality transit, we are prohibited from asking for parking. Requests can be, however, conditioned to prohibit short-term rentals of properties, and the county does intend to ensure that that is met. So we would be placing conditions and tracking homes that are constructed under this law to not allow them to be a short-term vacation rental like an Airbnb. The laws do drastically change the required development standards that the county has codified in our zoning code. For example, the county cannot require side or rear yard setbacks of more than 4 feet. And for parcel splits, the minimum lot size can be as small as 1,200 square feet. As it relates to the lot split and a minimum of 1,200 square feet, the law does require that the parcels be roughly equal in size. So you couldn't have a 7,500 square foot lot being split into one property with a 1,200 foot lot and the other with the remainder. They would have to be roughly equal in size. And then lastly, I should also note that a key provision of the law relating to the lot splits is that the property owner must sign an affidavit indicating that they will live in one of the properties for 3 years. Next slide, please. So I now want to walk through how staff would handle lot split requests. I also want to know that this is specific to lot splits. For 2 homes on 1 lot, those requests will move straight to a building permit process with no additional planning review or conditioning. The staff has developed applications for the SB9 lot split process, which will be handled very similar to other parcel map requests. That website is on our website, as well as a frequently asked questions that was just developed in the last week. And so all of that information is on our website now and available to the public. In terms of the parcel map or SB9 application, we are charging the same fee that is charged for other parcel maps, and we're going to process them roughly similarly. We are going to continue to take them to our project review committee, which is an internal county department and agency meeting to discuss conditions that can be applied to these requests. And then we will also, again, place conditions on them that are able to be conditioned. Based on board direction received in December, county staff will be noticing surrounding property owners, so property owners and tenants that are located within 500 feet of the request, as well as the CPACs will also receive a courtesy notice of the filed applications. Staff is currently working on a process to notify the CPACs, whether that's an email distribution to you all or having it being placed on the agenda just as an informational item so that you're aware of it. We are not anticipating at this time that there would be presentations because these are ministerial requests. This is really just for information. However, if the CPAC wanted to hear a presentation on the project, staff would be able to present that item for your information. Finally, the decision body for these SB9 applications will be the planning director rather than the subdivision review committee. Currently, the subdivision review committee hears all parcel map requests. However, with these ministerial projects, they will be considered by the planning director. Because they're considered by the planning director, appeals would be heard by the Board of Zoning Appeals, which is the planning commission, and they would be very limited in scope. And the only group, we're currently working with county council, and it appears that the only group that would have standing to actually appeal a decision on a SB9 lot split would be the applicant themselves, perhaps contesting a condition placed on their project. But surrounding property owners or the CPACs would not have the ability to appeal a SB9 ministerial lot split, is the direction that we believe county council will be heading. Next slide, please. Regarding requests to build 2 homes on 1 lot, the county is intending to initially use our recently approved accessory dwelling unit development standards, as they generally seem to track with the law. And I should be pretty clear here about why we're doing that and what could change with some additional direction from the state. So the state law doesn't specify the maximum size of a second unit on 1 lot. However, the law does require that the jurisdiction cannot have requirements that preclude a unit from being at least 800 square feet. So therefore, the county's approach is going to be to use those ADU requirements, which allow for units of 800 to 1,000 square feet in size. But there is a cap of 1,000 feet or 1,200 square feet if a applicant applies for a discretionary special development permit. So that's going to be our approach, is to allow for those second units to be of that size and not be able to be larger. We may learn in the coming weeks and months that this approach is not consistent with the state interpretation of the law. And if that is the case, then we will make adjustments to our development standards. Next slide, please. So as I noted earlier, staff is working now to present this information to the CPACs and to the Planning Commission in the next few weeks to months. We are providing information to potential applicants. We have not received an application yet, but we anticipate that we will begin seeing them in the next few weeks. Over the course of the next few months, we're also expecting to receive some further clarifications from the state and some perhaps guidance on implementation of the state law. And if that guidance does conflict with anything that we've done to date, then we may need to make some additional changes to our zoning code and our development standards. Included in that discussion would be, we're working on a larger package right now of zoning code amendments. If we do have to kind of pivot and make some additional changes, then we would incorporate those into a package, notify the CPACs, and then take those on to the Planning Commission and the board. So in closing, just want to mention that the information is on our website. So there is information that you would be able to pull down and talk to any of your interested neighbors about. And then, as I mentioned earlier, you will begin to receive courtesy notices so that you're aware of lot split applications that are being filed in the Cordova community. So that concludes my presentation, and I'm happy to answer questions from the group.
All right. I'll let anybody else have any questions at this point before I ask any questions?
I have a comment. This is Member Lineback. Regarding the notice either being by email or perhaps listed as an information item on an agenda, I would just like to express a preference for listing it as an information item on the agenda, even though it's not, subject to discussion or anything of that sort, because that way the the public documents are available to everybody. Because if you go by email, you're just notifying the members. But if you put it on a public document, you're notifying the public. So that would be my only comment.
That's a good point. Thank you.
Hi, Chris. This is Kurt Haven. Chairperson Jones, December 18th, sent an email to CORPAC, and I think I see your name on there now. I was just wondering, a lot of those questions she asked are probably answered tonight with your presentation. I was just wondering if you had sent her an email and answered her those questions. They were good questions.
I believe I did. I'd have to go back through my emails to see exactly the email that you're referencing and my response. But I believe I would have responded to her. I think she sent actually a couple of emails, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I got one. Okay.
Yeah.
This one that he's speaking to, just so maybe we can, because I'm thinking maybe she hadn't heard back because she sent it out again. Is that she was mentioning in her email about basically to the effect of that her neighbor had been turned down to add a bathroom onto their home because of the impact that it would make to the sewer system. And she wondered, how is this proposal, or how is this new bill going forward? How is it not different in impacting those type of things? Also, how will they be viewed? Through the lens a different way, or because it'll provide obviously cause an impact to those same systems. But if a person can add a bathroom onto their home, how will it be different to add an additional dwelling unit, or splitting the lot?
Yeah. Again, as as I mentioned, there is an ability to deny a request if there is a written finding from the building official that there is a public health and safety concern with the request. In talking with, we've had meetings with the building department, with our environmental management department who handles wells and septic. We've also been speaking with Metro Fire. So with a lot split application, as I noted during the presentation, we are going to process them similar to our other parcel lot split request, or parcel map request. And so there will be a distribution to all of the county departments and agencies. And there will be, discussion through our project review committee process. And so, if there are concerns about the about health and safety issues and access to water is certainly one of those, then an application can be denied. And I suspect that would be the case.
So basically, the law states that if you're in the right zoning per the county, you have permission to do this, but you still have to get approval from all the different, departments.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
it's still subject to even
water,
the
sewer, schools, everybody.
Right. Even building just the two homes on one lot, going through the building permit process, there will be those abilities for. Metro Fire has to sign off on building permits. EMD has to sign off on building permits. So there still is the ability to deny a request. Again, I mean, a fairly high bar, though. I mean, there does have to be a determination that it's a public health and safety concern, but certainly access to water is one of those.
Okay, I have a question. This is Member Thomas. So basically, it looks like if you have one lot, you can only add, actually basically just go up to 2 units. In order for you to go to 4 units, you have to do a lot split. Is that correct?
That's correct. And if you did the lot split, again, there's a requirement that you have to live in one of the units for 3 years.
Okay, and that's the only way to get up to 4 units. Because I heard something different, so I'm just clarifying. Okay.
Yeah, that is correct. That's the only way to get 4 units on one lot, which would ultimately be 2 lots. But if you currently have one lot, in order to build 4 separate structures, you would have to split the lot. You'd have to sign an affidavit stating you're going to live in one of those homes, and then you would be able to build the other 3.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Any other questions? All right. I think we're good. Thank you so much, Chris. We appreciate it.
No problem.
This is Alma from the Clerk's office. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. I was having some problems with my audio earlier. So the next item on the agenda is officer elections. And I know that Chairperson Jones is not here today. So if the council is interested, we could continue the item. I don't know if there will be a February meeting, or we can say continue to the next meeting, which may be February or March of 2022.
I think we should do that.
You want to continue the item? Okay.
Yeah.
I'll still need a first and a second to continue the item to either February or March, the next meeting of the CPAC. And so I need a first and a second and then take a roll call vote.
I'll second the motion.
Chairperson Stahl, are you motioning?
Yes. I'm sorry. Motion. Yes. Sorry.
Okay. And then Member Thomas, you're seconding, right?
Correct.
Okay. Member Stahl?
Yes.
Member Haven?
Yes.
Member Leinbach?
Yes.
Member Thomas?
Yes.
And the motion carries with those members present. The next item we have on the agenda is the staff update.
Yeah, the only item that I had to update the group on is that we do have that SEMO Circle rezone and use permit project working its way through to the Board of Supervisors. It's been to the Planning Commission. It was recommended for approval, and it's going to the board on March 22nd. And just as a reminder, that's the project that is near the Gold River area on SEMO Circle, across from the new USA Properties development that is under construction, and will be a mini storage as well as a storage facility for boats and RVs. And so that's the only item that I had to update the group on.
What's the date that's going to council, please?
It's going to the board on March 22nd.
Thank you.
Yep.
And I believe that one's already been before us, right? That's the one with the container, shipping container one?
It is. It went to the Cordova CPAC. You recommended approval. Went to the Planning Commission last month, was also recommended for approval, and is going on to the board on March 22nd.
Okay.
Moving on to item number 4, council member comments.
Anybody have any comments?
Member Thomas doesn't have any.
Not me. I said all my comments in last night's meeting. Oh, by the way, we voted Terry as president, so I don't know what
Well, I thought we were going to surprise with that at the end.
Never miss a meeting.
That's what I say. Hold the election and punish the person who missed the meeting. No, sorry, I have no comments.
I'm sorry, I don't either.
That's okay. And I did, was remiss, I didn't announce that we did not have any comments for items 1, 2, 3, and 4, and we do not have any public comments for item number 5 either.
Well, then, I guess should I motion to adjourn the meeting, or do I need a motion for that?
You don't need a motion. You can just adjourn the meeting if everybody's done.
Let's adjourn the meeting and call it a half-an-hour meeting.
Thank you. Good night.
Thank you.
Good night, all.
Thank you.
All right, stay safe.